It's time, baby. Oh, it's time for Tommy Tallarico. The Master returns. Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. As I told you, I would talk about Tommy when there was actual news, right? And here we go. I barely had the time today, guys. I've been really busy. By the way, I'm a senior in college again now, and I have a 3.89 GPA. I've been working hard. Yes, I've had to sacrifice content, but you know what? One more year and we're done with this. And we're on to bigger and better things, baby. That's right, winning. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 2 months off starting next week. That's what I'm doing. Winning, baby. Woo! Listen, he came back and he's still the master. You're going to see some things here. Let me tell you, you will see some things here because, you know, he didn't return to the usual channels, right? He didn't return to the people who helped him promote his investment in the Intellivision Amico. He didn't help anybody coming back by raising their channel's profile, right? None of the people that helped that advertise for free, nope, none of them. Would they want to have him on? Some of them would, absolutely. You know, maybe not the channels that he destroyed and ripped apart. Some of the channels wouldn't want to see him, but there are channels that definitely would have liked to have been the first interview of Tommy being back. But this interview is very revealing, let me tell you. One thing that you're going to notice is that, you know, he looks a lot better than he did during the tournament. You know, he's introduced as champion, intermediate champion, because Tommy never loses. So let's see what Tommy has to say now. And we'll stop along the way.
Southern California.
That's right. Yeah, which is great for me because I play in the Orange County Club is my main club, but I'm also 50 minutes from the San Diego Club with Frank Frigo and Michael Pines. But then I can also go up north about an hour to play with Steve.
Oh, he's
Sachs
upgraded. Look at that.
Patrick Gibson and
upgraded
so right
setup.
in the middle, it's just so much great backgammon. Literally hundreds of players playing 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, great. Happy to have you. Excited to talk a little bit about backgammon. I'd like to start with a little bit of background biographical information.
If you don't know Mr. Tallarico, if you don't know the power of the leader, he's going to reintroduce himself to you, right? If you want to make $17 million, this is where you start, baby. Let's go.
Information, if I may. Can you tell us about where you were born and raised, please?
Yeah, I was born in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1968. So when backgammon was kind of big in the late 70s, as you know, I was 10, 11 years old at the time. So it was right in that area. But when I was 21, I left my mom and dad crying on the doorstep and just got in my car and drove out to California, a little 2-seater car.
Now that's where his story begins, but I want you to look at something here. This gentleman here obviously is his contemporary. This is the way this works, right? He's already seasoning. He's already prepping the land for the next set of investors here. Let me tell you, because he's doing the same old song and dance, right? Just like with the Amico. This is what I'm saying, right? These are my guesses if you ask me where Tommy would want to go next. Now, he doesn't necessarily have to do it, but he's laying the groundwork here. He's laying the frame for what he wants to do in the future. Let me tell you, these guys are all my age, right? Absolutely my age. And if you're playing backgammon here in Southern California, let me tell you, it's a very exclusive Orange County type stuff. Only people with money go here, right? It's either, Gen Xers with money or Gen Xers grandkids with money, but you're not playing backgammon if you're broke, right? You're not playing backgammon in Monaco if you're living paycheck to paycheck. This is not the crowd that he hangs around with. Hey, Tommy is a multi-millionaire, right? He doesn't have time to hang out with your ilk. He's not going back to channels that are not offering this potential here. So don't feel too heartbroken, right? Don't feel too heartbroken. The man is working, even though it might seem that this is just entertainment. The man is working on his craft. Now let him cook.
And drove to California because I wanted to be in the music business or the entertainment business. So came out to California. So I've been out here for about 35 years now. My gosh.
Very good. And so you're in the music industry, right?
Yeah, music, video games, concert touring. Yeah, all of that. I was on a TV show for 12 years. In the early 90s, I was in the video game, doing video game audio, sound design, music, audio direction. Worked on close to, over 300 games across all the different systems and things. And so did that a lot. And then in 1995, I was on a TV show about video games. It was worldwide syndicated, nationally syndicated in the US. It was on the Discovery Channel. It was on a video game channel called G4.
All right, so now he's talking about what he's done. He's laying the background here. Now this guy's going to say something really important after all this said and done, but he's laying the groundwork on who he is, how he's successful he has been in the past, right? And he's introducing himself here to a new crowd. That's the whole purpose of this video, for him, not for this guy over here that, he could have been, if you look at this gentleman here, if he was into video games, he absolutely would have been part of the Amico supporters, right? He would have been part of the AKA cult, right? Because this guy, what does he know about Tommy, right? This is the talent of Tommy. He doesn't really know a lot about him, right? But he's, worked himself into this community, right? And now he's on the channel that, for all intents and purposes, is one of the bigger channels as far as, my generation that promotes backgammon. This guy has, courses that he teaches. Like, you can email him and he'll teach you how to play backgammon. That's his business. Backgammon is his business here. So let's keep on going.
Or also MTV, certain MTV and Fox programs also would carry it. And then I started my big concert tour, a worldwide tour of video game music called Video Games Live. I started that in 2002. And it took me 3 years to kind of, create it and build it up with another video game composer named Jack Wall. We kind of started it together. And in 2005, we did our very first shows at the Hollywood Bowl with the LA Philharmonic. Everybody thought we were nuts. Everyone's
Good old
like,
story.
Who would go listen to video game music with an orchestra? People who go to the symphony don't play video game music, and people who play video games don't go to the symphony. So, like,
guys, whatever you think about this gentleman here, probably that is the one best idea he had, because this business he's going to run until he doesn't want to. You can own it, you can have somebody else do it, but that's a business that really runs itself. He's still touring, he's still doing all this stuff because it's a safe concert. It's a safe concert that you can take to many countries. You're not going to have any conflicts with anybody as far as content, right? He's not going to be censored at all. And the beauty of it is most of the concert is done by people who are not getting paid from the local community, people who love video games, right? And on top of that, he's getting paid. It's a win-win. I mean, this is just a moneymaker, right? It's a moneymaker. He's making at least $300,000 on the low end a year, right? So he really doesn't need to do anything else but this tour. But, this is what's going to keep him afloat for, until he wants to retire, really.
Like, no one's going to show up to your dumb thing. And, it took a big chance, put all the money I'd saved up over the years into the thing. People are like, oh, you're lucky if 500 people show up. Well, over 10,000 people showed up. And all of a sudden I wasn't so crazy, and been doing it ever since, over 20 years.
All right, so this foundation right here is very important, guys, because most of the people, right, that are into this hobby, that are Gen Xers, most of them that you're going to see there are business owners. they can relate to this story. I started something with nothing. I went out of my parents' house. I developed this with my partner. I worked in this industry, and eventually, I came up with this thing, and this is what's made me successful. So the calling card for this video for these people is it's gonna be that he has this business that has been very successful over the years, right? People can identify with that. Not only that, if you prove to me, right, by your success that you're able to take something and make more of it, right? You invested a little bit and you made a lot of it. It's the same experience those business owners have. So now he's establishing the roots that he's able to turn capital into success, right? That's exactly what he's doing here. And it doesn't matter, right? And it doesn't matter that he doesn't want to use that capital right now as far as trying to talk to people on investment, right? This is people getting to know him, getting to know about his success, getting to know how he's able to produce money out of nothing, right? So he's a really successful capitalist. So these are all the things that you think about when you're going into private investment. Like, who am I investing with? And you're getting this report with Tommy right now. What do you know about Tommy? He's a kid that went out of his house at 21, started working in the video game industry, eventually came up with his own business strategy, and he's been very successful. Is that the person you want to be friends with? Yes, that's in general, right? I'm friends with people that are as successful as me or more successful. That's who I want to be friends with, right? I don't care what some loser that, needs his girlfriend to co-sign for his house. I don't care what the hell he says, right? I want to know what the guy that's more successful than me, that's making more money than me, that is protecting his assets better than I want to know that guy. I want to know what he does. And if he's always successful, I want a piece of him, right? That is the thinking here, right? That is the hook. This is the beginnings of the hook. So let's go.
Since we started now, gosh, we've done over 550 performances in 42 countries around the world. Our next show is in Dallas in November, and if you go to videogameslive.com, you'll see it. But it's basically all the greatest video game music played by a huge symphony and choir with
Look at this guy's face. He's receiving it, right? He's accepting, he's receiving. This is the first time, right? This is not a guy that's into video games, as you can tell, right? But he fits the profile. Look at him, right? Look at him, and the same thing that's going to... the same features that you see on him, you saw on other people that he was on their shows with. You name them. There's so many Amico interviews, and this guy right here fits the profile perfectly. Let's keep going.
Synchronized video, lights, and live action, and all sorts of stuff. So it's pretty cool.
That sounds great. I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger.
Of course, sure aside, some of you would say.
Yeah, of course. I don't remember anymore. Now it's mostly backgammon. But of course, other than
that's the gist of it there, right? This guy remembers playing video games, so he's familiar with the concept of what he does, but he's not into video games now, right? Most of the people my generation, guys, they're not into the internet. They're not into Instagram. At most, they're on Facebook, right? But they're not really on social media. This just is a perfect ground to lay, to cement, right? To start planning your roots for anything that you want to do in the future. Now, I don't think that Tommy needs to do anything right now because he's got all the money, right? But in case of an emergency, you can always tap back in here. But he's been going at this a while. So I can see him, if he said to these people, I want to make a video game controller, right? And I know that degenerate right here, Gen X Gamer, is going to buy it for $200 because he's paying $1,000 for a console. Nobody took him up. Right? There's degenerates out there like me that will buy it, right? And there's enough people out there that will invest, either that or the mobile app. And that, to me, is more credible, right? That he's going to develop a mobile app, and that's what's going to eventually sell to people.
In music and video games, do you have any other hobbies and interests outside of backgammon?
Yeah. I race a lot. So in the race cars and Formula One, baseball, play baseball, watch baseball, photography.
Dodgers won, by the way. That's got to hurt him.
Basically anything to do with nature or animals.
LA, baby, all day.
My wife just moved into a new place out in the forest.
Wow. All right, so contrary to popular belief, he's still with his wife, and they decided to move somewhere out in the forest, right? Wherever that is. It's out in the Orange County area somewhere, right? But that's where he's at now. So all those rumors about him getting divorced and losing half his crap, not true. They're still together. They moved out there. He's got all the money. So what do you think he's doing here? Let's just reflect here. He could have gone back, right? And you guys can go watch this video. It's on this guy's channel. I'll put a link down below. He could have gone anywhere, right? He could have gone to any of the channels that he absolutely destroyed, whether they're on still on YouTube or on Rumble now, where they had to go. But he owes those people this interview, right? He owes them that. He's no longer depressed. Right? This is how these people, some of them spent their time as a hobby, right? Imagine that one guy. Look at Tommy's net worth. And so many others, right? And so many others. They put everything on the line on his dream, right? Guys, put everything on the line for your dream. And if you don't make it, that's okay. Just you go to your next dream, right? To your next adventure. Starting a business and losing it happens to Americans all the time, right? 95% of all businesses are not successful. They close within 5 years. But don't put yourself on the line for somebody else's dream. No. Unless they're paying you, right? Unless they're paying you. But man, there's so many other people that deserve this interview. But you know what? You're no longer part of the plan. Yeah, the Amico is dead. The INTELLIVISION Amico is dead. Amico Home, that's a, high school project. I mean, it's a college project at best, let me tell you. And it's going nowhere fast. Could he raise money for other future ventures here? Absolutely. The money is here, right? These people, by far, the upper echelon of backgammon are all millionaires and above. These are not people that are poor. These are not people that identify with anybody in the Amico community, right? They wouldn't run around your ilk, right? There's a reason why he's saying, oh, my hobbies are Formula One racing. They're all expensive hobbies. All these are expensive hobbies. Not the backgammon itself, but the places and the people and the clubs that where real backgammon players play. That's where you're going to find them. That's where people have disposable income that you just use as a tax write-off, right? If somebody invests $1,000 in the Amico that's living paycheck to paycheck, that's a lot more meaningful than, a multi-millionaire investing $100,000. I mean, it is what it is. And he's putting himself in the right spot to hit the next chapter of his career, whatever that is, right? If he asked him to invest in video games live, he could do that, right? That's what Tommy does. Tommy never loses. Did he lose, respect in the video game community at large? Yeah, but he was already done with video games. He's already older, and nobody's calling him to work on the next Call of Duty, right? So this is just the next chapter in his life. And he's setting himself up pretty well for the next business opportunity. Let's see what the cult number 2 is. All right, humans, thank you so much for joining me. We catch up here with Mr. Tallarico. It's been great. I'm going to be taking vacation here starting next week. And I won't do videos like this. I'll just, talk, give my opinions on things. And that'll be going on for, approximately 2 months, right? I'm very blessed that I'm able to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to work for 2 months. I'm not going to do it. I just want to spend time with my wife, with a baby, enjoy the holidays, take a vacation. So probably I'll do a little vlog when I'm at the airport and what have you. I'll be visiting a couple of cities. So we'll see what happens. In the end, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for catching up with Mr. Tommy Tallarico with me. Oh man, what a ride. How many years now? 6? 6 years of this? It doesn't end, man. It doesn't stop. Amico Home is still there. What is he working on? The man, the legend, Mr. Tommy Tallarico. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.